Now on WKRG News 5.
One person is fighting for his life tonight after a high-speed chase ends in a fiery crash. News 5 has the latest from the scene.
Plus, Mobile police release their murder statistics for 2012. We break down the results and show a troubling trend.
And the BCS champions are back in Alabama tonight. News 5 has a wrap-up of the historic win.
From WKRG News 5, the Gulf Coast news leader in high definition. The news starts now.
Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mel Shaw.
And I'm Roseanne Haven. First on 5, some tense moments in Saraland this afternoon after a high-speed chase ends in a fiery crash. It all started at a home on Laurel Drive and ended when one of 2 vehicles stolen from the home crashed into a gas pump and burst into flames. News 5's Lauren Vargas joins us now live with a live report from the scene.
Roseanne, a much different scene than what we showed you an hour ago. As you can see, the gas station completely empty now. They flipped over the truck, towed it away. Everything is closed up. Just a few officers left checking out the scene, investigating what exactly happened. But they believe they have a pretty good idea about how this gas station ended up so severely damaged. Police say it all started as a carjacking back in Mobile. Several people had pulled their cars up to work on a house. 3 suspects were involved. One took a car with keys already in it. The other 2 held a man at gunpoint for his truck and took off. Police spotted the green Chevy on Telegraph Road, and when they wouldn't stop, a car chase ensued. Witnesses say the car was going over 100 miles an hour when it lost control, flipped several times, and slammed into the gas and go.
I work like almost 2 or 3 days a week here, and I was going for a work actually. I was going to join there at 3 o'clock, and I just came here and I saw many police cars here, and I really have no idea what's going on.
I pump gas there all the time, so I couldn't imagine being standing there pumping with my kids in the car and that happened. That would be terrible. That would be horrific.
Now, there actually was someone pumping gas at the time. Amazingly, he was able to get out of the way, and he is absolutely safe. The 2 men in the truck, one had life-threatening injuries. That was the last we heard several hours ago. No update on his condition. The other man is expected to be okay. Reporting live in Saraland, Lauren Vargas, News 5.
And thank you, Lauren. A short distance from today's carjacking, a similar crime took place at the Catholic Cemetery off Dr. King Avenue. 2 people were held at gunpoint and their car stolen. News 5's Tiffany McCall joins us in our newsroom with more on that investigation. Tiffany?
Mel, it's a crime you don't hear about too often. People visiting their loved ones' grave sites then being held at gunpoint and robbed. It happened to Vivian Hecker and her brother while visiting family grave sites. She says they headed back to the car. They saw a man lying on top of a grave who appeared to be grieving. As they passed him, he pulled out a gun. That's when she says a second black man jumped out from behind her car and took her keys. They sped off with her purse and her brother's wallet.
It's very sad for me because it means that I'm going to be afraid when I come. And I like to come. I'm not one of the kind of people that hangs at the grave site, but I do like to always have fresh flowers.
Now, her car and purse were found where her brother's wallet is still missing, along with a rosary given to her by her husband during their wedding 51 years ago. So far, no arrests have been made. Live in the newsroom, Tiffany McCall, News 5.
Mobile police have released their statistics on murders in 2012. Today, News 5 combed through the report, looking at trends in age, racial, ethnicity, and timing of the crimes. Here's what we found. Mobile police reported 29 violent deaths in 2012. That's 1 less murder than 2011, but still 4 higher than the 25 reported in 2010. This year's victims range in age from 1 to 67. While their ages and manners of death vary, there's one factor so common it's startling. Take a look at this graphic. Of 29 murders, 20 of the victims were black males. White males came in a distant second with 4, black females at 3, and 2 white females. By this date last year, Mobile had already recorded reported its first murder. In fact, January would prove to be one of the deadliest months of 2012, tying with October at 5 murders apiece. The only months in 2012 a murder wasn't recorded were June and November. Of the 29 murders, arrests have been made in 19 of them. The murder of Raven Escarpeda's brother, Kendrick Files, is one that remains unsolved. News 5 spoke with Raven back in September about the crime that has changed her family forever.
They actually took Kendrick's clothes. They tried to steal his car, but for some way they could not. They stole his jewelry as well.
Police say Files was shot in the head at this gas station on Navka Road in July. And as with this case and others, they're working to bring the killers responsible to justice.
And that's one thing that's important for everyone to know, and especially family members, that when we speak to them about these active cases, is that we always investigate them. We always continue.
Looking back over a 10-year period, 2008 had the highest number of murders at 42.
An investigation underway in Irvington after human remains were found off Highway 90. The discovery was made at about 1:30 this afternoon. Sheriff's deputies got a call from passers-by who were out making car repairs near the embankment. They wandered down and found the skeleton. At this point, sheriff's investigators believe the man was homeless and living in the area. Foul play is not suspected.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid has come under fire for how he compared Hurricane Katrina to Superstorm Sandy. Live in the studio is News 5's Ashley Knight to explain.
That's right. Senator Harry Reid went on the Senate floor Friday and said that, yes, the folks affected by Hurricane Katrina were hurt, but, quote, nothing in comparison to what's happened to the people in New England. Now, after that, Louisiana Senator David Vitter went onto his Twitter account and said that Harry Reid had revealed himself as an idiot, gravely insulting Gulf Coast residents. I went to Biola Battery today. That was also hard hit by Katrina, to see if folks there thought what Senator Reid said was true or if he talked out of line. Many said it was impossible to compare the two storms, including President of Junior Barber Seafood, Raymond Barber.
It's more populated, so more people are going to be affected. Down here in the Gulf Coast, it's less populated, but the areas that it hit, it devastated us down here because it's our way of life. There was boats thrown in the marsh grass down here, and a lot of them people never went back to work.
Now, Hurricane Katrina left 1,800 people dead and left $145 billion in damages, while Superstorm Sandy caused 120 deaths and left $80 billion in damages. Congress did pass $9.7 billion in Sandy aid on Friday, with another $50 billion promised once the House returns next week. And by the way, Reid later did apologize for his remarks, saying he misspoke. Live in the studio, Ashley Knight, News 5.
The Alabama Crimson Tide returned home to thousands of screaming fans today. This was the scene at the airport in Tuscaloosa this afternoon. As you can see, the fans were anxious to welcome their national champions back home. News 5 had a crew in Miami for the big game and all of the events leading up to it. Sports director Randy Patrick has a wrap-up of the action.
Well, we wrap up our BCS National Championship coverage in South Florida by simply saying, wow. Wow, what a performance last night by the mighty Crimson Tide as they shut down Notre Dame from the opening kickoff and win their third national championship in the last 4 years, and successfully defend last year's title when they shut down LSU in the Superdome. And last night, the offense was simply stellar, led by Mobile's A.J. McCarron, who will be back for his senior season. Coach Nick Saban at the press conference this morning said that he will build the offense around A.J. next year and says he will be the best quarterback in the United States. C.J. Mosley, named the game's most valuable player, will also be returning. The Theodore linebacker is amazing, and he will have a great senior season, and both A.J. and C.J. will now also get a chance to play in the Senior Bowl. DJ Fluker out of Foley had a great game, and he told me that he will announce Wednesday his intentions on his future. It's most likely that he will turn pro, and Coach Saban also alluded that it's possible Eddie Lacy might decide to turn pro as well. But you know who is waiting in the wings. That's T.J. Yeldon, our former News 5 Player of the Year, and he had a great game last night, as well as Eddie Lacy, who was named the game's most valuable player. Nick Saban and his coaching staff working their magic once again with, 37 days to prepare for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and it showed on the field last night. And as we were joking, earlier this morning. I hope the Fighting Irish fans who came here and paid a lot of money for hotel rooms and entertainment and the tickets, we hope they enjoyed the pregame show. Reporting from South Florida at the BCS Championship, where Alabama wins again, I'm Randy Patrick, News 5 Sports.
Alabama fans flocked to local stores to get their hands on national championship gear minutes after the game ended. As News 5's Devin Walsh reports, they dropped a lot of cash on Bama gear.
Roll time. Minutes after the clock ran out on the BCS National Championship game, fans left their TV sets and started shopping. Dick's Sporting Goods in Daphne was packed with Tide fans.
I'm a huge J.J. McCarron. I love him to death. I just wish I could meet him one day.
Academy Sports in Mobile stayed open into the wee hours of Tuesday morning so that fans could buy championship merchandise.
So I love it because it's got the 15, because we just won the 15th national championship, and then on the front it's got back-to-back champions on it. So I just had to get it. I love it.
We had them start coming in towards the end of the fourth quarter. I guess about 10:15 is when it's really started lining up. By 11 o'clock, that's about the time we reopened. We had them all the way down to the end of the building.
The hot item right after the game ended was this coach's hat. They sold out of these here at Academy in about a half hour, but they will be getting more in because so many people want to get their hands on this national champion's hat. Why didn't you come last night?
I was too busy watching the game. When it was over, I was tired. They were wearing me out watching them.
All this national championship gear was kept under wraps until after the game. You had to run out and get this gear, didn't you?
Yeah, for grandchildren, son, granddaughter, daughter-in-law.
So you are an Alabama mama, it says on your shirt.
Yep, that's what I am, Alabama mama.
Mamas and little ones say Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Are thrilled about another Alabama national title. Devin Walsh, News 5.
Switching gears now, we have breaking news out of West Mobile. In a neighborhood off of Cottage Hill Road, a police standoff is underway. Officers want neighbors to stay inside. Now, this is the area of East Road, Yucca Drive, Longleaf Drive. News 5's Alan Carter joins